profit information, visit jdpower.com. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org, number 3030.
Good morning and welcome to the Saturday Morning Quarterback Show. This is Bob Hayes, and with me in the studio this morning is Coach David Barnes and a couple friends of David, good friend Gary Bartlett and his two daughters. Granddaughters, I should say. I might add a very happy David Barnes, as well as all Tiger fans, after a thrilling win over the Paducah Tillman Blue Tornado last night at Tiger Stadium. The Tigers defeated Tillman 24-21 on a 19-yard field goal by Boyce Nichols with 1 second remaining on the clock. The Tigers not only got their first district win last night, but now have a 5-game winning streak. I'll be back with David to discuss last night's improbable win after we pause for these messages from our sponsors.
Have you been a victim of debit or credit card fraud? Farmers Bank and Trust can help lessen your risk of getting taken advantage of. As our customer, you have exclusive access to a security feature in our app that will allow you to turn your debit card off while you're not using it, then turn it on instantly when you need to use it. Keep your information safe. Log into our free app to use this feature, increasing the security of your information right now. Not a Farmers Bank customer? Come down. Let us set up your account and start protecting you from potential fraud opportunities. This is not a guarantee that your information will not be compromised. This is an increased security measure. Farmers Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
Hello, this is Keisha Fulcher, CEO for Community Medical Clinic, located at 310 Hawthorne Street in Princeton. Community Medical Clinic's goal is to provide access to excellent health care services that are both convenient and affordable. Community Medical Clinic is taking new patients every day, and walk-ins are welcome. The clinic is open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. to serve you and your family members of all ages. Patients are welcome with all insurances or with no insurance. Not able to come into the Princeton location? Then we have two other clinics. Our new downtown location in Hopkinsville at 1102 South Virginia Street and Fort Campbell Boulevard in Oak Grove. Community Medical Clinic, providing healthcare services at your convenience at no extra cost.
We're back from break. David, the excitement, joy, happiness was something to see last night after our young kids dug deep down to get this victory.
It was a great win for us. We'd been down, and, at halftime we told them that we weren't going to panic. We've been in that situation before. All we had to do is come back. They had to kick off to us and, make something happen, keep playing hard, and things would go our way. And the kids buy into that. And, it's just we got a great group of kids that believe in each other and believe in the team concept, and that's why we won that football game.
Well, we knew we were facing the loss of our leading tackler on the season last night, and we also, as the game wore on, had to overcome a punishing ground attack by Tillman to even stay close. Thank heavens for some of Tillman's mistakes. Their first big mistake came on the opening kickoff after we won the toss and elected to defer. The kickoff bounces off the shoulder pads or the helmet of the Tillman back and bounces about 15, 20 yards back upfield, and Dylan
quick on their defensive side, especially on their D-line. They had some kids that were pretty strong and quick, and I thought our offensive line did a good job. In that first series, we did a really good job. The kids were coming off the ball well, and I think we ran the ball 3 or 4 times and got positive yardage, and on the touchdown, it was on a stretch play, and we did a really good job of reaching it, and our outside receivers did a good job blocking downfield on that.
And with Boyce Nichols adding the extra point, the Tigers go up 7-0 just a minute into the game, and that's what you've repeatedly said. And I know to start the second half, we have about a minute drive. You're not too concerned about time of possession because we score quickly when we do score. But Tigers lead at that point 7-0. Tillman answers quickly by driving 57 yards on the ground to score. And the extra point, we're tied with 7 minutes and 12 seconds to go in the first quarter. As they opened the game with that punishing ground attack, where I know we were trying to make adjustments, but we just have to credit Tillman with some great blocking and some really, really nice backs.
Really good, their running backs were tough, and their quarterbacks got good speed, but they came out running the wishbone, which they had not shown all year long. Which the plays they were running were the same plays they were running out of the other formations, but they came out too tight wishbone with something that we had not seen them do. But 31, the Barnes kid, number 8, those kids run hard, and their fullback does a great job blocking on those ISOs.
Well, we noticed and we're seeing it some last night, the change in quarterback for Tillman to Jordan Harmon has apparently improved their offensive attack immensely because he's not afraid to run the ball.
And he's shifty. I mean, he's got great speed, and he makes you miss, and you got to do a great job of getting on him. And he doesn't throw the ball really well down the field, which we knew that. And but when he would get it on those quarterback sweeps, you just hoping we get there and make a play.
Well, we start our second drive taking the kickoff at our 17. We have 5 complete passes in a row and move the ball to the Tillman 38-yard line. Ben Holt catching one of those for 5 yards, and Oliver with 4 grabs for 40 yards. And it looked like as we were trying to cover Crittenden County, they were giving us the 5, 6, 7, 8 yard pass downfield, and we were taking advantage of it.
Yeah, their corners were playing off, then they adjusted and started coming up a little bit closer to us. But Oliver did a great job of catching the ball and getting up the field, making yards for us. But the big thing on that was we were throwing a little fast screens out there, and our inside receiver did a great job of getting on blocks and making something happen.
Well, we have 2 more plays that we run, and then Joby throws deep down the middle, and it's picked off by Tillman at their 10-yard line. That was a play that we had run successfully the week before against Henderson, but they had it well defended.
Yeah, they dropped 2 guys right down the middle of the field. I don't think Joey saw that number 15 drop, but things like that happen, and you could almost look at it as a punt situation if you wanted to.
Well, and that's right. They take over at their 10-yard line, and then they go on a 90-yard march, 16 plays all on the ground. That ate up about 8 minutes of the clock, and again they were still rattling off 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 yards a carry, and again out of the wishbone, 2 tight end offense that they were running, and in a situation like that with the running back still carrying the ball, do you pinch inside a little bit closer on a wishbone, or do you where we spread a little bit too much in the middle?
Well, it was probably a situation where they were doing a really good job up front coming off the ball and getting on. We were playing a little bit too high on our defensive line. We were getting driven off, which was driving our guys back into our linebackers, and our linebackers couldn't get flow down on the ice, so that was the biggest problem.
Well, Tillman goes up 14-7 at that point. Caldwell then starts their third drive from our 33, and we turn it over on downs at the Tillman 35. Big plays in that drive was an 8-yard pass to Oliver Parker from Joby, and Travis Newsom a 10-yard pass from Joby, and a 17-yard run by Jameer. Again, we were balancing the offense with passing and running. We saw that all night long.
Well, Jameer being back there at running back, he's got to. He sees the hole well, and he can accelerate and make things happen, and I think that's helped us out a lot in our run game. And mixing it up like that, the defense can't just sit there. And we knew they probably weren't going to blitz their inside linebacker very much. I don't think they brought him all night long. We knew it was going to come from the outside, and I thought our line did a good job of protecting Joby last night.
Well, we see Jameer becoming a really, really nice running back, and more north-south running last night than what we'd seen in previous games, becoming an excellent back and giving us a threat in the running game where we probably weren't going to. We have the potential to break a run anytime Jameer carries the ball.
And that's what kind of why we're getting more touches from that position than we were at the Y. And he's a kid, he's a playmaker, and we knew that we needed to get him somewhere where we could get him the ball a little bit more, and that's the best spot to put him.
We noticed not only was he running with a lot of toughness, but with a lot of heart as well.
The thing about him was he never came off the field. He played every snap on defense, and there was one he had to come out and get his ankle taped, but that's the only time the kid came off the field.
Tillman runs 3 plays. We turn the ball over, and Tillman picks up 18 yards before fumble. Recovery by Noah McGowan at the Caldwell 48-yard line. We noticed Noah getting into a lot of games now as a true freshman.
Well, we had to get no in because Luke Stallings, our tackle, our left tackle went down with an ankle. And he got rolled up on his ankle, and he had to come out, so he didn't play the whole second half. And we had to get Noah in, his backup. And for the most part, if you remember later on when I think we scored on a screen, and Noah's the one that came out and got the big block to set that screen up. So he got a lot of playing time last night.
Mentioning that screen on the Channel 6 sports recap last night, they had that play, and you see number 77 right in the middle of that play pushing out a defender and letting...
That's what sprung that play.
Yes, and just a waltz to the end zone, so to speak. But anyway, we recover the fumble. Jameer runs a 4 and 7 yards, a 14-yard pass play to Travis, a big 24-yard completion to Jameer down to the Tornado 6, and we think we're in good shape at that time, but we really, from that point, can't get anything done. Eventually, we end up turning the ball over on their 9-yard line on 4th down. We complete a pass for negative yardage on that play.
Yeah, that's where we got to, when we get in that situation, that's where we've got to do a lot of improvement and make so that we do get that ball in the end zone. And on that particular play where we thought that was going to be open, and it was open early, we just didn't get, Joey may got a little pressure in his face and couldn't get the ball out. But, that's where we got to get better when we get inside that 5-yard line and get some points on the board.
And that was a situation where we obviously wanted the touchdown and not the field goal. Tillman then takes over at their 9, can't do much with it, and fumbles at their 31, giving the Tigers one final chance. And that fumble probably came after about a 45-second conversation with the officials. We didn't know what was going on the field, and maybe they didn't either. I'm not real sure.
I never knew what they were talking about.
It took 45 seconds or so for them to signal that we had the ball and recovery by Will Bashir. But our situation up in the booth was what was were they deciding was a fumble or not a fumble? Fumble, not a fumble.
They never did communicate to us what was going on.
We run one incomplete pass play, and then Boyce Nichols attempts a right at a 50-yard field goal. I got a pretty good leg into it, but low enough that it really never had a chance to get over the crossbar. And that finds Tillman then going into halftime, leading 14-7. We'll talk about halftime in the second half when we return after these messages.
Mobile Deposit is here. This is Mona Van Hooser with First Southern National Bank, and our new mobile app is loaded with extra features, including mobile deposit. Now you can use your smartphone's camera to deposit checks on the go. Just endorse, point, click, and send. Download our new mobile app and try it today. First Southern National Bank. Member FDIC.
Hey, honey, you know what would make me so happy right now?
A movie night?
Well, that and...
A candlelit dinner?
Actually, I was thinking we could...
Go for a walk in...
McDonald's! Babe, listen. I want McDonald's. And some fries.
You're the perfect human.
Get more of what matters at McDonald's. Try your favorites on the everyday value menu, like the McDouble Burger for $1.39 or the McChicken Sandwich for $1.19. A la carte only at participating restaurants. Cannot be combined with combo
Here at
meal.
McGregor Group Heating and Air, we are so proud to be a part of this community. We want to thank you for the opportunity to serve you for all of your heating and air needs. McGregor Group Heating and Air specializes in residential, new construction, and light commercial installations, also servicing most makes and models. We offer fast service with polite and friendly staff. We provide our customers with a peace of mind by offering the best warranties in the industry, along with high-quality products. McGregor Group Heating and Air is located at 960 Varmint Trace here in Princeton. Give us a call today at 270-896-5044. We're the company that you can take comfort in.
We're back with the quarterback show. Going in at halftime, David, knowing that we would get the second half kickoff, what did you tell the young men at half, and what changes did we make at half? You mentioned earlier that we were maybe too high up in our defensive positions. We certainly got that corrected in the second half. What did we tell the kids at halftime?
We started slanting a little bit in the second half, and Coach McClung and Coach Mack got together with the defensive people and got some things straightened out there. The main thing was we were hitting those kids sometimes at the line of scrimmage, and we were just not getting enough people to the ball. But so the biggest adjustment probably was we started slanting a little bit, and then offense for the whole team. My comment to them was, we've been here before. I mean, we've come back in ball games before. It's 14-7. They got to kick off to us. We're not going to panic. We're going to stay positive, and we're going to go out and win this football game. And then we did a couple of adjustments on the offensive side on some things we needed to try to get done. And the kids, they were very positive at halftime. They knew we had a shot at winning a football game, and there was no doubt that when we left that locker room that we was going to win that game last night.
A lot of similarities to the Henderson County game the week before. They had controlled the clock for the most part last night. Tillman had rushed the ball 32 times, not thrown a single pass, picked up 182 yards, but yet they could only get 2 touchdowns on the board. Tillman with 3 turnovers in the first half. Really, their mistakes kept the game close, and goes back to that old adage: you win the turnover game, you probably win the football game.
Yeah, you can almost, anytime at the end of the game, you don't have to look at the score, look at the turnovers, and most of the time that turnover ratio is going to tell you who won.
And the Tigers received the second half kickoff and return it to the Tillman 47-yard line. We go on a 6-play drive, as I mentioned earlier, taking about a minute off the clock. Jameer with runs of 4 and 5 yards. His 5-yard run coming later in the drive. Big completion of 24 yards to Travis Newsom to the Tillman 24-yard line, sets us up. 6-yard completion to Travis Newsom. The 5-yard run by Jameer, and the final play was a 13-yard pass or 14-yard pass to Trail, who looked to be untouched as he caught the ball and got into the end zone.
That was the first time all night we went to an empty set where we didn't have any backs in the backfield, and just wanted to see how they were going to adjust to it. And we called a screenplay, and and they were pressing up in our face, and the screen that we're running was a screen that we a lot of times run against press coverage. And Travis did a great job of going flat and getting on that outside guy, and then McGowan came back and kicked that kid out, and the Trail walks in the end zone.
Well, we were wondering, I had not noticed it before until you just mentioned it now, that we were in an empty backfield, and I was wondering, was the empty backfield leading to this particular call that you wanted to see, to how Tillman did react, whether we could overload some of their defensive backs with one man more to block for our receiver?
That, and another reason is to see how they were going to line up against that set, see if they were going to leave how many people in the box and how they were going to cover us up. Well, we knew going down in the red zone that they was going to man us up for one, and that particular screen is one that we use a lot of times against that type of coverage.
Well, we know all night long Joby, for the most part, is dead on with his passing. Another really strong passing game last night for him. Throws a really nice ball, as I've mentioned many millions of times on these shows. But great pass, great catch, and we waltz into the end zone. Boyce adds the extra point, and we're tied just a minute into the third quarter. Tillman answers with another drive for a touchdown, a 10-play drive covering 63 yards. They score on a 1-yard run with 5 minutes and 36 seconds left in the third quarter, now lead 21-14. Again, they're on that ground attack, and but they were not chewing up as many yards with this drive as they were those drives in the first half. So we felt like something was working on defense, and we were hoping that they were getting tired as well.
I don't know if they got tired or not, but I thought we made some plays and, created some turnovers and made some stops that we weren't getting in the first half that helped us out a lot in the second half.
And we received the kickoff. We go 3 and out on our next drive and have to punt. A nice punt by Boyce Nichols, a 35-yard punt to the Tillman 6-yard line. The first time that we were able to kick the ball down deep in Tillman territory was on that particular drive, and Boyce even had a better kick later on in the second half on that. But punted the ball well last night.
Yes, backing them up 2 times in the second half was big.
And again, Caldwell can't get anything done on that particular drive. Tillman trying, and we noticed in the second half on their kickoffs, they were trying little pooch kicks, and gave it away, I guess, to start the second half when they game clock had run down to 0, and they kick it. We know, and they come back with that same particular kick again, trying to I guess imitate what we had done on our first kickoff to them. They didn't really want to kick it deep, it appeared, with the kicker that had a strong leg.
They didn't want Trail, they'd seen on film Trail taking that one back last week, and, it was like us. We didn't want 11 and 6 touchdown, but we didn't do a real good job of that sometimes last night.
Tillman backed up to their 6-yard line, actually just backed up to their 3-yard line on a penalty. They can't move and punt out to us. We take over at the Tillman 44-yard line. We scored 5 plays, aided by a 15-yard penalty against Tillman. We saw 3 of these penalties last night in the second half, 15-yard, I guess, unsportsmanlike conduct, and it hurt them later on in the game. It helped them dig out of a hole later in the game with this punt coming up that we'll talk about. Jameer has 3 runs totaling 9 yards, and the TD on this particular drive, Caldwell scoring, is a 20-yard pass to Oliver Parker on a hitch and go. Well, a fake, great fake by Joby, a great fake by Oliver, turns it upfield, and nobody could catch it but Oliver on that particular play. Well thrown ball by Joby.
It was a great route right by Oliver, too, on that, and the line gave us enough time to get, because when you double move, it takes a little bit more time to get the ball out, and our line gave us enough time, and Joby makes a nice throw, and, again, Oliver, he ran a great route.
And we tied up with a successful extra point kick by Boyce Nichols with 1 minute 27 seconds remaining in the third quarter. We're not at 21-21. Tillman begins their next drive at their 42-yard line. They move to the Tiger 26-yard line, aided by, this is something I find strange, a defensive holding penalty against the run.
Have not figured that one out yet.
And I thought you could tackle blockers in the way of a ball carrier, get them out of the way any way you could, but we sustained that penalty.
That penalty was called on Gabe East, who's our safety guy, who's getting blocked, and we get that blows my mind that you can't even explain. I mean, they can't even explain why the play's called. Just to me, it's you're on defense and you can use your hands. I've been coaching 32 years, never seen that call made.
Well, we were in the booth thinking holding by Tillman.
Exactly.
And all of a sudden they point the wrong way, or they point to us, and we said, well, they've pointed the wrong way a couple times tonight, trying to figure out who's calling timeouts and stuff like that. But then they mark it off against us, and we're just dumbfounded up there that something like that could be called.
I'm glad I wasn't the only one.
Tillman then has to go to the air. They have a lot of yardage to make up. They throw their first pass, and it's a 6-yard completion. The next particular play is another pass play, and it looked like Jordan Harmon just threw the ball up for grabs. The Tillman receiver not anywhere close to the ball. Trail steps in and intercepts the ball, and we stop that drive after the defensive holding penalty that had been called against us. And we're going to, again, with Trail returning that we're going to take a break here, Ty, and cover this last few minutes of the ball game. Exciting coverage. We'll be back after these messages from our sponsors.
It's a lot of hard work and fast-paced time of year for our area farmers. Harvest time comes around quickly, and no one knows that better than Fredonia Valley Bank. Surrounded by beautiful corn and bean fields for the past 123 years, sits a real community bank, Fredonia Valley Bank. We find great pleasure in serving our customers and the hard-working farmers and businesses that make up our local communities. We keep the soil flowing through our veins and our hearts grounded in serving our local communities we call home. Visit us today at 602 Cassidy Avenue, Fredonia, and 226 Commerce Street, Eddyville. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Here's a reminder from your Princeton Electric Plant Board. Meter tampering is dangerous. Tampering with an electric meter is not only dangerous, it is dishonest and against the law. Stealing electricity by tampering with an electric meter may result in your arrest and can even risk your life. Tampering with meters results in increased utility bills that everyone has to pay. If you see anyone tampering with an electric meter, call the Princeton Electric Plant Board right away at 270-365-2031. Princeton Electric Plant Board, Princeton's #1 energy source.
Hello, this is Gloria Smith with the Law Office of Jeff Russo. Are you buying or selling real estate? Are you planning on refinancing your existing home loan? If so, you should be aware that you have your choice in which attorney provides the legal services associated with such transactions. Our law office has over 50 years of experience in real estate law. We pride ourselves on being cost-effective and having a quick turnaround time. If you're in need of such services, call us today at 365-2763 or find us on the web at www.jeffrussolaw.com. We are located in downtown Princeton on the east side of the courthouse.
This is an advertisement.
When is the last time your home had an electrical checkup? Penny Rail Electric reminds you to make sure outlets are not overloaded and that cords are in good condition and away from high traffic areas where they might cause someone to trip and fall. Look out for danger signs, such as discolored switch plates and covers that are warm to the touch. If you have an older home with older wiring, have a professional check it out every few years. A safety reminder from Penny Rail Electric, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
You can always expect great things at Planters Bank. When we say expect great things, what we're really saying is Planters Bank is here to provide the financial services you need. Planters Bank believes in the strength of our community and is a full-service financial institution. Our employees have a true passion for helping our neighbors, and it shows. See Jake Pepper and the rest of the Planters Bank staff at 208 North Jefferson. Planters Bank, member FDIC and equal housing lender.
And we're back from the break. Trail returns this interception to the Tiger 24-yard line. Joby on first play loses 7 yards on the only sack of the game that he endured last night to start this drive. The next play is a 2-yard loss by Jameer. But next we have a 19-yard completion on third down, leaving us about a half yard short. That on our side of the field, they bring the chains completely across the field, and we're a half yard short, giving you time, David, to figure out what you wanted to do, whether you wanted to have to give the ball up by punting or go for it.
At that point, there wasn't any question we were going to go for it. Will already had a play he wanted to run. He felt like it was going to be a good play for us, and there wasn't no doubt we were going to go for it at that spot in the game, and we was having a hard time stopping the run game. So we felt like we could get the first down, and we got in a set and did something a little bit different we hadn't shown.
Well, we got into, we line up, we get into what I call our power blocking scheme, and quick count and Jameer, and then everything flows quickly to the left side. All he has to do is pick up a half a yard, and he picks up one, so that keeps the drive alive, enabling us to then go further downfield. 6-yard run by Jameer, another 7-yard run by Jameer, a 2-yard run by Jameer. There was a pass interference penalty against Tillman on the next play against Ben Holt. Ball now at the Tillman 35-yard line. And that pass interference penalty happened on our side of the field. And the only way I can think that was a pass interference penalty is if the Tillman defender came through Ben to try to catch the ball. It looked like both of them were going for the ball. Your take on that, David?
Just glad they called it. I mean, I'm like you. I thought they were both making a play on the ball.
Well, and the only thing you could think, you can't go through a receiver trying to intercept the ball, and it looked like both of them really were battling for it, but we'll take the penalty. Then we follow with 3 pass incompletions in a row, and then we decide we don't need to try the long field goal. We punt the ball, and this is where we get it down to the 1-yard line. Trail getting down there and picking it up as it was bouncing, going to bounce into the end zone with 5 minutes, 26 seconds remaining in the game. A really big key point in the game here.
Great punt by Boyce. I thought the doggone thing was going to get in the end zone, and I look up and the guy spots it and is on the 1-yard line. And, that's what we were wanting to try to get out of, make them have to go 99 yards if they were going to score.
Well, we noticed Trail getting downfield quickly, turning upfield, getting in position to catch the ball, which he did chest high, belt high anyway, at the 1-yard line. The official hustling down there, marking the spot, and Tillman starts this drive at the 1 yard line, and they're able to get the ball out of the shadow of their own goal line, helped by a 15-yard penalty against the Tigers, and we just spoke about that off air. We thought it was another one of these mouthing type penalties and things like that we had seen called earlier, 15-yard unsportsmanlike conduct, but you mentioned this was a late hit by one of our players on the Tillman guy, and all night long, as we mentioned, we were taking 3 and 4 guys to bring down their back. So I guess we did roughing maybe.
It was on that sideline, and I couldn't see it, but I know that the kid was still up and running, and the whistle hadn't blown. So,
well, I mean, we had no clue it was a late hit up in the box. We thought somebody had opened their mouth and said something.
That's what I
that
thought.
Type of penalty. Tillman with this first down cannot go 10 yards. To gain another first down, they're forced to punt from their 22. Tigers take over at our 45-yard line with 2 minutes and 26 seconds remaining. We run 3 plays before Joby is intercepted at the Tillman 34-yard line. That comes with 1 minute 41 seconds remaining in the game. Tillman runs 5 plays and helped by a 15-yard penalty called on them. Also a Dylan Cavanaugh sack of Jordan Harmon, who was running around back there. Anytime he had 3 or 4 yards of space, we were getting nervous in the booth as to what might happen. But Tillman has to punt on 4th and 23, and this is the Denver Bronco drive of the game here. The Tigers begin their final drive at our 40-yard line. Trail catches a 5-yard out route, immediately steps out of bounds to kill the clock. Plays, we were going to run these kind of plays, David. We didn't have a lot of time to kill, but then we throw another incomplete pass, and the next call is this big play of the game where in the paper, and you've mentioned it to me earlier today, that Will calls the hook and ladder play, and we get really great execution on that play.
You know, the thing, when I looked up and I saw it, and we ran into the single receiver side, and you know, you got to have 3 things happen on that. You got to make the throw to Travis, and Travis got to catch it, and then he's got to be able to get the ball to Jameer, and all those 3 things happened. And we ran it 2 or 3 times in practice this week and didn't run it very well. So, you know, that was a play that timed up. You know, Jameer did a great job of timing it up, and thought he was going to score. You know, I wish he had scored, but you know, it was a big play to get us down there to kick the field goal, and you know, it was just great execution by our offensive line, giving us time to get the ball out. Joby makes a nice throw, Travis makes a nice catch, and Jameer takes it to the 3-yard line.
And when you have well execution, it can freeze the defense, because Tillman had no player they had players in the area, but nobody expecting the lateral on this play. So Travis, a great catch. I'm not sure whether we haven't seen that one on film yet, but all of a sudden I see the catch made by Travis, and then I see Jameer taking off like a bullet, and obviously with the ball. And again, we get our nemesis has to be the 3-yard line. We get run out on the 3-yard line about 4 times so far this year.
You know, we had the kickoff return with Jameer Crittenden, and he had the same situation. But you know, that particular play, you know, is something that it worked, and it gave us a chance, opportunity. It's kids believing in what we can do and making plays, and we made the play there to put it down there where we could hopefully win the ball game.
Well, we noticed on that particular drive we were throwing to the short side of the field by design. We wanted to not put the ball in space in case we make a mistake.
Part of it, you know, throwing it all the way to the opposite hash on the wide side of the field is a hard throw, and you know, it gives an outside guy a chance to get underneath it, maybe pick it off, and you know, throwing it to the short side, we get out of bounds quicker, and to save. We had 3 times. I think we had 3 timeouts left at that point, so. We were in good shape there.
Well, we get to the 3-yard line, and actually I'm not sure. We end up at the 2-yard line. Was there a penalty on that down in that
I can't
area
remember.
of the field? I'm not really sure, but we're at the 2. Dylan Gray carries, does not gain any yards, moves it we were thinking if we carried the ball, we were going to move it more to the center of the field to have a better angle for boys to kick if we couldn't get it into the end zone. But Dylan doesn't get to the middle of the field, but we still don't fumble the ball, and we call the timeout. That's the first timeout that we get our kicking team onto the field, and then Tillman uses their final 2 timeouts to try to ice Boyce, and on their second timeout, our kids come over to the side of the field, and you're the only coach that goes out there to talk to them. And what did you say to the young man at that time?
Just remind them of, making sure that they step and kept our shoulder pad level down and not let anybody increase the gap on us, and make sure everybody step down hard, and make sure our wing backs make sure they make the guys go force them outside, not chase anybody outside where they get a lane to block the punt or block that field goal.
Again, with execution being really well in a lot of occasions last night for the Tigers, the snap is good by Mitchell Harrelson. Oliver Parker puts it down on the tee, and Boyce comes through after having to go through 3 timeouts. A great testimony to the nerves of that young man and his ability to make a play for us.
Well, on that timeout when I was out there talking to Boyce, I looked right at him. I said, "You got this." There's no doubt in my mind. You got it. And he just looked at me and grinned.
Well, with 1 second remaining, the ball goes through the uprights. The Tigers secure their 5th victory in a row, and we'll be back after this break to look at the stats for last night's ball game and talk about several individual efforts by our players. We'll be back after these messages from our sponsors.
Fortner Gas Company is a full-service local and family-owned propane company offering services in Princeton, Cadiz, Madisonville, and Murray. Right now, Fortner Gas is offering specials on propane. Fortner Gas offers Holland and Napoleon grills, Dixie choppers, and they also have Red Max weed eaters. Contact Fortner Gas Company today for all of your residential, commercial, and agriculture propane needs. Fortner Gas Company, a family tradition of service since 1951.
Howdy, folks. Colonel Sanders from KFC here with some real news. My delicious, world-famous original recipe fried chicken is available at a KFC near you. It has been and will be until the end of time. No matter what's happening in the world, you can trust that my original recipe chicken is always made with 11 herbs and spices. Many unnamed sources agree. It's delicious. Get it in a KFC $10 chicken share and enjoy it with a friend. KFC, it's still finger-licking good. Limited time offer at participating KFCs. Prices may vary. Tax and substitutions extra.
And we're back here with the final segment of the quarterback show this morning, just looking at some of the stats that we were able to accomplish last night in the rushing department. Jameer, 21 carries for 86 yards. Dylan, 1 carry for no yard. And again, conscientious effort to probably play him more on defense as this season wears on, David?
Most likely, yes.
And Joby with 2 rushes, only 1 sack last night, -7 yards. Receiving, Travis, 8 catches for 81 yards. Oliver, 6 for 67 and a touchdown. Trail, 4 catches for 24 yards and a TD. Jameer, 2 for 92, the big one there coming late in the game. And Ben Holt, 2 for 1 yard. 265 yards through the air for Joby. Joby, 22 of 38. 2 interceptions for his 265 yards, and another great statistical game passing-wise for that young man.
His confidence level's got to get better each and every week because he's doing a good job, and he's getting better each week. And that's what you want to see in a quarterback, is that you continue to grow. And he works hard in practice, and just couldn't be more proud of a kid and what he's done out there on the field for us.
And Tillman, 65 rushes last night for 319 yards. The quarterback, Jordan Harmon, 1 out of 2 for 6 yards. Actually completed both his passes, unfortunately for Jordan. One of them was to one of our guys. So Tillman obviously disdaining the pass last night for the ground game. And on our defensive side of the ball, Caleb Burden with 20 tackles last night. A really strong defensive game from our linebacker crew last night. Dylan Gray with 12, Gabe East with 11, and with them not passing the ball, we could cheat Gabe up to the line of scrimmage or within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage and give us another defender.
Yeah, we had him and Dylan Kevin on that. Both of them, were up on the line of scrimmage last night.
Yeah, Jameer with 10 tackles, Will Bashir 10 tackles and a fumble recovery, which took 45 seconds to decide whether it was a fumble. Mac Englebright with 8 tackles, Trail with 8, Cole Baker with 5, Mitchell Harrelson with 5, Russ Bashir with 3. We got Russ into the game last
And Russ
night.
got, he's a hard-nosed little kid. He loves the game, and he'll get after you a little bit, and then he'll hit.
Dylan Cavanaugh with 3, Austin Hardrick with 2, and Boyce Nichols with 2. And I know if I see Boyce's name in there, he's probably saved us a touchdown.
He's done it 2 or 3 times, and that's not good. But Boyce likes hitting, and but when your kicker's making tackles on kickoff, that's not a good situation.
Well, we also have fumble recoveries by Dylan, by Noah McGowan, and Will Bashir. And Noah mentioned earlier he had to step in for Luke Stallin's injury situation. Luke may be ready to play this upcoming weekend.
He rolled his ankle up, so our trainer, he got him ice last night, and we'll just have to see how he progresses this week. Hopefully we'll be able to go. And Devin Kilgore went out in the first half. He with a possible concussion, so we don't know the status of him.
And we have the 1 interception by Trail. And last night was a lot of festivities going on prior to the game. The helicopter bringing in the game ball. Always impressive to see that helicopter land at midfield and take off. It was homecoming night for our crowd last night, and our queen is related to one of our assistant coaches.
Yeah, Sidney Riley won that last night, which is Coach Riley's niece, and I know he was proud. He and Heather were proud of that last night, and just congratulate her. But one thing I'd like to mention, our student section last night was as best as we've ever had. They were into the game. I mean, they were all in black, and I really appreciate the support we got from our students last night at that ball game.
Well, we want to compliment our student section. You're right, and the band in their uniform gave a great halftime performance. Our crowd, our adult side, filled up. Tillman apparently doesn't travel well, maybe less than 75 people across the field following those young men, but a great crowd. On our side of the field last night. You're right, the students were into it, and so great, certainly compliments to the kids that showed up and really were vocal in the game. Any final thoughts, David?
This football team, these kids, Dylan Gray kept looking at me in the second half. He said, "Coach, don't worry about it. We got this." And when you got that out of your players, you got a great thing that you don't always have every year. And this group of kids, they believe in each other, they believe in what we're trying to do, and they work hard during practice. And when we take the field, they know that every time we go on the field, we got an opportunity to win. And if you got that type of attitude, you got a great chance on Friday night.
Usually, when Dylan talks to somebody, you end up laughing. Did you laugh at him when he was saying this?
No, he was serious last night. He got that serious look sometimes. A lot of times he doesn't, but he was serious last night. And Cole Baker after the game, he's crying like a baby. He said, I've never experienced something like this tonight. That field goal went through. He said, I just lost it, and it means something to him. And that's what we just got a great group of kids.
And that's why football is such a great game. It's such a great teaching point that you could talk all day long until you go out there and experience it and fight through adversity and not give up. And things like this can happen to you. It's a great feeling. And a great win last night for the Tigers, and we want you to join us next Friday night at 6 o'clock for the David Barnes pregame coaches show as the Tigers will be in Union County to play the Braves. Following that show, WPKY-FM will air the game at 103.3 The Tiger and the live stream on WPKYOnline.com. Once again, the Tigers opened defense of their district crown last night by defeating Paducah Tillman on a last-second field goal to win by a score of 24-21. The Tigers' 5th victory in a row. For Coach David Barnes, Ty Englebright here at the studio, and me, Bob Hayes, wishing you a very pleasant weekend.